Hi everyone, I'm April and you're watching The Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is episode number 22. I'm coming to you from my hallway. My house is a wreck. I'm in the middle of moving and unpacking, as I've said a couple of times before, and I just got off of a 14-hour shift at work, and I really wanted to just get in a quick episode for you. So I'm here on the floor in my hallway, and I'm sorry, the air conditioner is making a lot of noise next to me. I apologize. But here I am. I am super excited to show you my daughter's socks. I finished them and they are identical. I was able to get the colors to match up perfectly. Now these were the Mad Mix socks by Verpi Torvo, and the yarn therapist was the yarn that I got off of Etsy. And I'm lying, this is not the yarn therapist, that was last month. This is Three Irish Girls in the Bryn colorway. And you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different patterns down my sock. And these bottom two here were actually not part of the Mad Mix sock pattern. These were two charts from some Claire Ellen socks that I have. This one here was Sign of the Prancing Pony, and this was from the Gimli socks. I love them. They fit me perfectly, so they should fit my daughter perfectly, and I hope she loves them. I'm sorry my lighting in this hallway is not showing how beautiful this purple is, but oh, I'm loving it. And honestly, I think this is my favorite part, the brown transitioning into the teal. Love, love, love it. But they're done. Yay! So I've got my May socks for the Brown Bag Unit Sock Club done, and I've also entered these into the Grocery Girls sock club for May. I didn't get to use a sock blank. Their extra entry this month was for using a sock blank, but I don't have one, and I just couldn't justify buying one, so I only got one entry, but hopefully, crossing fingers. So I ended up with this ball, and I should have waited, but this is what I had left from the Three Irish Girls Bryn yarn, and it's just brown, and you can't really see it, but purple left over from this, and it's going to be kind of striping between the brown and the purple back and forth. I rolled it up into, I think it was 4 mini balls that I ended up with, and I just kind of matched them up so that they would end up in sort of stripes back and forth between the brown and the purple. And so I told you I was at work for 14 hours today, and during my downtime I was thinking and doodling and making notes, and I ended up potentially designing a cowl that I've already got started. Aggie, she's rubbing up on my stand over here. Sorry for the jiggle, it was Aggie. She was trying to claim my camera stand as her own. So I've already started progress on this cowl that I'm designing using the leftover yarn from the Bryn colorway. So that's exciting. I already got that started, and it's just going to be another close to the neck kind of cowl that I really like. So here's to hoping that this turns out the way I imagine. So I know that I've talked a lot about Rebecca from Chemnitz. She's got her own channel here on YouTube, and she does a lot of yarn dyeing experiments, and she mostly experiments with food coloring, and it's only been within the most recent months that she's started delving into learning how to use commercial acid dyes. But she just opened up an Etsy shop recently, and it's called Chemnitz Creations, and she put a lot of the yarns that she's dyed over the last few months up for sale. So I had to go snag one This one she did do using food coloring, and I don't remember exactly which food colorings and the technique that she was using, but the skein of yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and post that here as well. Post a picture of the skein because I got it in the mail and I was so excited. It was so pretty and I fell in love with it, and I had to wind it up right away and start something. So this is what it looks wound up, and my lighting is terrible. These are super vibrant and it looks like I'm holding a big bowl of Fruity Pebbles. I mean, it's so colorful, and it just amazes me that she's able to get these rich colors out of food coloring. So of course I had to start a pair of socks because that's the only thing I could imagine that these would be. And I chose the pattern called Walk the Line, and I don't remember who designed that pattern, but I'll list it here, but it's called Walk the Line, and it's basically ribbing, but it's got some interesting increasing in the gusset area that makes the ribbing look really cool. So this is what I've got so far, and it's pulling really interesting. So on this side I've got the yellows and the reds and the oranges, and on this side I've got the blues and the greens. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know if it's going to stay like that and my stock's going to end up half and half, or if it's going to, you know, randomly shift somehow. And I don't know what the other sock is going to look like, because, you know, with wildly variegated yarns, it's really hard to find where they're going to, how to make them exact. Like with these socks, it was really easy to find how to make the color repeats because they're long color repeats, and it's easy to match them up that way. But this is just so random and wild that there's no way to be able to say, well, if I start exactly here, it's going to be exact on both socks. So I don't know what my second sock is going to look like, but that's why I wanted socks, is because I knew it was going to be crazy and wild. But I'm really digging it so far. I'm just having a blast. So I had to cast these on. These aren't for any particular reason other than I was super excited. So you should go check out her Etsy shop. Again, it's Chemnitz Creations, and she's got, I think she's even got some of her, the yarns that she's experimented with, some of the acid dye techniques that she's been playing around with. So check it out. Sorry if I'm talking really fast. I have had a busy, long, crazy day at work, and I'm still trying to find that where I've mellowed out and I've relaxed a little bit. 14 hours is a long time, and I'm just still kind of amped up, I guess. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, again, I'm finding some of my older projects as I'm going through this packing process, and I came across this cowl. This is called the Xena Cowl by, I believe it was Cristina Wilkins. I know it's Christina. I'm sorry, it's curling a little bit. This has been in a drawer forever. And it actually came out a lot bigger than what it was intended. This was my first attempt at stranded color work ever. And I did this back in 2014. Now this is made out of, it's a 100% acrylic yarn, and it's called Hirschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn, and it's listed as a fingering weight. I'm sorry, it's listed as a sport weight. And they have a wide range of colors, and they're small 50-gram balls, or mini skeins, I guess. They're 50 grams each, and they're so inexpensive off the Hirschner's website, and I got one of every color, so I have tons of that in there because this did take very much. But the colorways in this one are beige, chocolate, cream, and rust. And I love how the colors play together in this one. It kind of makes me think of like something like a potter would make, like a vase or some sort of clay pot or something. I just think it's so pretty. My color work could be better, but again, this was my first attempt and I never blocked it. I just wore it as is. The only thing that I don't like is that it does curl like this. It does want to curl down. It's really cool. It's got a picot edge, you know, and you see me on the inside. It's really fun to make, but it does curl, and it kind of drives me insane when you're wearing it because it wants to do that. Plus, I've got a very short neck. This is a little bit too big. So when I do wear it, I end up having to fold it inside itself and to make it a little bit shorter, you know, so that I'll wear it so that it looks something like more like that. But even that, I don't wear this that often. It's just not the right size for me. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I do want to use it, and part of me is thinking that I want to get some more of the beige color, or maybe even the chocolate, and picking up stitches along where at the same point where I seamed the hem down, picking up stitches all the way around and maybe working circularly, you know, inward so that I can make a base and turn it into a bag or a basket. It's a thought. I don't know. But I really love it, and I don't want it to stay in my drawer. I don't know, unless there's some other way I could figure out how to keep it from rolling outward like that, because it just drives me crazy when I'm wearing it, because then when it curls, you're seeing the inside of all my floats, and well, my floats aren't terrible. They actually look kind of nice considering this was my first stranded color work. But I mean, that's not what you want to see. You want to see the pretty side. So I don't know. I'm really undecided what I want to do, because this is just so pretty to me, but it's not something that I wear, mostly because of the size. So I don't know. It's a thought, and I've been thinking this for a while, but I've never gotten around to actually trying it. But maybe. So, you know, let me know if you have any ideas, if there's something else that maybe I could use it for or do with it, or there's another way that I can make a base for a basket or a bag. But right now, that's what I'm thinking, is picking up all around the edge and working inward in a circle. So I don't know. But if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. So real quick, and I think I mentioned that I was reading Agatha Christie's Cat Among the Pigeons. I finished that, and I had finished Only Skein Deep. That was the Maggie Sefton book, and I don't know what it is. I was at the library the other day turning things in and just kind of looking around, and I don't know what drew me to look for haunted house books. So I found the series of novels that are based on, you know, haunted houses. They're fiction. It's not like I'm reading like true ghost stories or anything, but it's by Sarah Rain. This is the first book in the series. I don't know that it actually has a series name. I just know that she's got 6 books so far with the same character, and they all involve haunted houses. So I don't know. I know that some series have like a general name and some don't, but this particular one is called Property of a Lady by Sarah Rain. And it's funny, I don't know why I want to read a haunted house story when I'm about to move into a new house. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I think I'm crazy or losing my mind with all this packing and stuff. I'm gonna end up my first night in the new house, and I'm gonna be freaking out because I am in a new place and I've got stories of ghosts in my head. I don't know what possessed me. Haha, possessed. But that's what I'm doing. I'm reading ghost stories right now, so hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt. But so far I'm really digging it. I'm only about 15 pages in, and I'm already feeling like, oh, this is gonna be good. I was like getting goosebumps the first couple of pages in. She writes really well to where you can like, it's almost like a jump scare like you get in a movie, but you're just like, okay, maybe it's me and I just get too invested in my books. But yeah, I was reading it the other morning, broad daylight. My kitchen's got the skylight on, so there's just sunlight and light coming from everywhere, and I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. My cat got angry with me because I just kept like screaming. But I get really, really invested in my books. And so I was just like, oh my god, so scary. So, and I haven't actually read a horror novel in a very, very long time. I really got burned out because I started some of my first ever novels when I was really, really young was Stephen King, and I got burned out on him by the time, let's see, I think I started reading Stephen King when I was 10, and by the time I was maybe about 25, 26, I stopped reading Stephen King just because, okay, I was done. I needed a change, and that was almost all that I read was Stephen King, and you know, a few young adult type fantasy novels. And then I switched because I wanted something maybe a little bit different but still scary. I wanted to see what other authors were like, so I started reading Dean Koontz, and he was all right, and I read him. I read a few novels by him, and then I kind of started changing. Right around in my 30s, I think, is when I started reading Agatha Christie, and I started reading the Sherlock Holmes and all just murder mysteries and mysteries in general. So I kind of, my taste kind of switched, and I haven't read horror for a good 20 years. Except for, well, I guess it's not really horror, the Twilight series and stuff like that. I mean, that's not really horror. It's romance, people. So yeah, I really haven't read anything scary in a very long time. So I'm really enjoying this. I just hope that I don't end up in my new house totally wigged out. Okay, so I'm done with my day. It's been a long day. Finishing off my squirt. I love grapefruit. I love the smell of grapefruit. I love the taste of grapefruit. Love it. Everything. I think I mentioned that I have some wool wash in a grapefruit scent, and I've got candles that smell like grapefruit. I'm drinking my grapefruit flavored soda. I love real grapefruits. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to finish my squirt, and I'm going to get ready so I can have my stuff prepared for work tomorrow. So I'm sorry this was a shorter show, and I'm sorry it's kind of rushed, and my air conditioner is making a lot of noise, and the lighting in my hallway isn't perfect, but I really wanted to connect with you and let you all know what's going on. And I will see you again next week, and hopefully I will have my day planned better so that I can give you something better. I'll probably be working on my June brown bag unit socks, which I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I picked my yarn. I do know that I grabbed the bag, the random bag for that, but I don't remember what it is. But I'll be working on that, and I'm probably going to be getting back to my addition by subtraction mystery shawl. It was the one that I was talking about a while back that's based also on a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery story tied into the mystery knit along pattern. So I'm going to be getting back to that. I've been looking at all of the spoiler photos and everything, and it's looking really, really cool. So I'm really happy. I want to get back to that. I'm going to try very hard to not start anything new, which I guess it really won't be all that hard because I've already packed up most of my yarn. I'll probably be working a lot more on the cowl that I was designing, and I will give you some updates on that next time. But thank you for being with me for these few minutes, and I will see you all again next week. I hope the rest of your week is fabulous, and I hope you enjoy it all. Thank you. Bye-bye.